All right, Shalom. First and foremost, before I begin, giving all praises to Yahweh Shemel Shai. Double honors go out to the apostles, elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Shalom wa barakim to you brothers and sisters out there. Our brief lesson, I just wanted to go into the topic of a mamzer or a mamazar. All right. Well, no, I believe it's mamzar. There's no extra A there. It's H4464 Mamzer. All right, the Yiddish is Mamzer. It says bastard, child of incest, illegitimate child, mixed population, born of a Jewish father and a heathen mother, or vice versa. And that is actually false. Esau is going off. Okay? According to the Bible, your nationality, your race, who you are is determined by the seed of your father. Numbers 1 and 18. All right, it is determined by the seed of your father, also known as your patrilineal. It has nothing to do with your mother. A mamzar is somebody who has a Israelite mother and a heathen father, making them a heathen. And then also a bastard is also a child of incest. All right, it has nothing to do with the Israelite father and the heathen mother. That is not biblical, and we're gonna go ahead and prove that. All right, so first thing we can go ahead and do is go to Moses' sons. So this is First Chronicles, chapter 23 and verse 14, and we know that Moses, his wife, was a Hamite. All right, a heathen woman. First Chronicles 23 and 14 to 15. Now concerning Moses, the man of God. All right, there's only one Moses. Right, so you can't get this confused with anybody else. It's talking about Moses, the predecessor to Joshua, the son of Nun. All right, the one who led Israel during out of Egypt and during the time of the wilderness. All right, so it says First Chronicles 23 and 14. Now concerning Moses, the man of God, his sons were named of the tribe of Levi. The sons of Moses were Gershom and Eleazar. So although their mother was a heathen, they were still named Levi because Moses was a Levite. You see? Let's go ahead and get another one. 1 Kings 14 and 21. And Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, reigned in Judah. So this is the first king of Judah. All right, after the split, because after the death of King Solomon, the southern and the northern kingdom had split. Rehoboam was 41 years old when he began to reign. And he reigned 17 years in Jerusalem, the city which Yahweh did choose out of all the tribes of Israel to put his name there. And his mother's name was Naamah and Ammonitis. So, wait a minute. So, according to these black-only Israelites and these other guys that teaches this BS doctrine of the so-called Mamzer doctrine, how would this apply to this right here? So, you mean to tell me that Rehoboam was a Mamzer, but he was still allowed to be king over Judah? That doesn't make any sense, right? So, if we actually believe in the words of Yahweh Shemel Shai, if we actually believe that the Bible is indeed the Word of God, which it is, it doesn't contradict itself. So how could a mamzer, a bastard, be somebody that has an Israelite father but a heathen mother? But we just pulled out two examples of Israelites that had heathen mothers and yet were still Israelites. All right, Rehoboam being a Judite. The only way you could have been a king of the southern kingdom was if you came from that lineage, the line of David. You see? Which, not to mention, King David, I believe as his grandmother Ruth, she was a Moabite. Okay, so according to that, you black on the Israelites, you're saying that Yahweh Shai is a mamzer. He's the offspring of that. You see? So it's not about your mother, it's not about DNA tests, not about any of that. It's about who your father is. Right? Which it even goes really beyond that, if you want to be technical, because your father could be a so-called black man. You know, he could have a broad nose and big lips and an afro and all that. He could be dark as charcoal, but guess what? your great great grandfather is a slave master on your father's side, then you're not an Israelite. So this isn't a thing of, how you look or what your mother is. It's not about that. It's never been about that. That's not how that works. All right. Since none of us have the patrilineal records to, I guess you could say carnally prove that we're Israelites, it's all faith based. Romans 8:16. You see? So for you to say that somebody ain't an Israelite because they don't fit a certain description that you have within your mind is just folly. It's just asinine. All right, to say the least. And on top of that, especially these other camps out there, you can't teach that you are what your father is, and you have people in your camp that have an Edomite mom and an Israelite dad, so they're in your camp, but then you have foreigners that come up and they're just heathens. That's not how that works. Either both your parents have to be Israelites for you to be an Israelite, or you are what your father is, meaning Israelites can come looking like any nation. You can only pick one. All right, you can't say you are what your father is and then not teach about Israelite foreigners. That's just fucking foolish. That doesn't make any sense. It's contradictory. If you are what your father is, which is what the scriptures say, it's only about the seed line of your father, your patrilineal. You're going to have Israelites that look like all the nations where they were scattered, which is all across the four corners of the earth. It's literally that simple. All right, it is not hard to understand, but it just goes to prove the scriptures. Sirach. They're playing onto the holy, stumbling blocks onto the wicked. Like the beloved brother in the Nashville camp says, Jake don't understand how sex works. It's really not that hard to understand. The seed that is planted is what the baby is. It doesn't matter what the mother is. It doesn't matter what it comes looking like. You see? So you really got to get out of that, that carnal mindset, because it's not going to last. You have guys out there, like I said, that they look like they'd be from the tribe of Judah all day, and their known family is all so-called black, but they're not Israelites. Because you're patrilineal. We're talking about the 12 patriarchs. That is thousands upon thousands of years ago. There is no way you would be able to trace that and know for sure. All right, so you black on the Israelites, you talking about, you need to be 100% purebred. That's not even possible according to your doctrine. It's impossible to know, because there very well could be some people out there that only have Israelites in their family, but it's not likely. At least, not everybody. It's a lot. They even did studies on that. A lot of Jake in America today have at least a couple white people in their family, man, through rape, rob, and murder on one side of the family. So you can't go just, and then the scriptures talk about endless genealogy, so you're not even supposed to dabble in that. You can't go back thousands upon thousands of years. You see? So ultimately it's a thing of faith, but it goes upon your father. All right, it's not, your mother is completely irrelevant, and as we just proved, a bastard is not somebody with a heathen mom but an Israelite dad. That's not what a bastard is. All right, so stop teaching that falsehood. Stop being carnal minded, man. The Lord is not dealing with men that have a carnal mind. Hold on. Romans 8:6, for to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Let me go ahead and get this. Sirach 11:2. Commend not a man for his beauty, neither abhor a man for his outward appearance. It's not about looks. All right, the Lord even says he looks on the heart. He looks on the mind, the soul. He doesn't look about the flesh. Jeremiah 12:9. Israel's a speckled bird, man. So stop being a damn fool, man, teaching that black-only doctrine, denying the Latinos and Native Americans and the Israelite foreigners. What you don't understand is that fulfills the Deuteronomy 28 curse of your eye being evil towards your brother. Your eye being evil towards your brother isn't just Bloods and Crips. All right, that goes into just all aspects of you despising your own flesh and blood. All right, you have somebody that might look so-called Chinese, and he's from the tribe of Benjamin, or he's from the tribe of Ephraim, and he's trying to come and receive the knowledge of this truth so he can be delivered, and you're denying him that because of how he looks. Your eye is evil towards your brother. The Lord made a covenant with him just as much as he made it with you. It's no different just because he looks different. You share the same forefathers. So grow the fuck up. All right, that's the bottom line. And everybody, everybody's got kinks they got to work out. So there very well is guys out there that they don't understand this, and they'll hear a video about it and they'll be edified and they'll change their mindset, and that's great. But for those that want to stay in that way about it, black on the Israelites, until you can send me your patrilineal records going all the way back to one of the 12 tribes, sit your stupid ass down. That is the bottom line with that. All right? I don't even need to dabble any further than that. If you ain't got the records, then shut the fuck up. Let me go ahead and get this. This is Ezra chapter 2, I believe it's 59. This is dealing with the second temple rebuild. It says, "And these were they which went up from Tel Melah, Tel Harsa, Cherub, Adon, and Immer, but they could not shew their father's house and their seed, whether they were of Israel." So they weren't able to come with because they couldn't bring forth the documents showing that their patrilineal went back to Jacob, which none of us can do today. So for you to say that you're an Israelite from such and such tribe, and this person over here that's doing the same thing as you, going out to camp, teaching and all that, studying, praying, and fasting in the names of Yahweh Shemel Shai, he's not an Israelite. You're out of your goddamn mind. All right, so that's all I really got to say on that. This is something I want to bring out real quick. Lord willing, is edifying. Double honors, of course, to the apostles, elders, great millstone, shalom, and a Bible ball.